speak to you now with the fire of truth. I speak as one who has watched your soul long before you took your first breath. I speak as one who knows what God placed within you. And today I tell you this, all things are possible with God. Not some, not a few, not the things that look easy, not the things you think you deserve. Every single one. I need you to let those words move inside you, not as comfort, as activation. You were not sent here to live small. You were not sent here to live scared. You were not sent here to live half asleep, half alive, half trusting. God placed a calling inside you that refuses to stay quiet. That is why you feel that pressure, that restlessness, that quiet ache, that silent longing. It is your soul remembering something you have not yet lived. And I am here to remind you, what you think is impossible is simply the place where you stop trusting. But God never stopped. You have only seen a fraction of what is written for you. You have only tasted a drop of what is prepared for you. I stand before you not to promise ease. I stand before you to promise truth. God does not ask you to be strong. God asks you to be willing. God does not ask you to know the way. God asks you to trust the next step. And when you take one step with faith, heaven takes 10 steps toward you. But listen closely. There is a force that fights your rise. And it's not darkness outside you. It's the voice inside you that learned fear. Fear of failing. Fear of wanting too much. Fear of trusting too deeply. Fear of being disappointed again. Fear that God will not show up for you the way you pray He will. I see that fear in you. But I also see something stronger. The spark. The part of you that refuses to die no matter how many times life has crushed you. The part of you that gets back up even when your heart says it's tired. The part of you that cannot settle for a life that is smaller than what your soul remembers. That spark is not your imagination. That spark is evidence. Proof that God is not done with you. Proof that you are still needed. Proof that your story has more pages. Listen to me. If God placed a vision in your heart, it is not fiction. It is instruction. A preview of what is already yours in the unseen. But you must learn this sacred truth. The unseen is more real than what you see. You look at your circumstances and you think that is reality. You look at your bank account, your relationships, your past mistakes, your pain, your delays, your disappointments, and you think, this is the truth. No, that is only the shadow. Reality is what God has spoken. And God's word does not return empty. What He plants must grow. What He declares must become. What He promises must reveal itself. But you must rise to meet it. Your faith is the bridge. Your faith is the door. Your faith is the signal that tells heaven, I am ready. And yet many of you pray for miracles while holding on to doubt like armor. You pray with your lips but fear with your mind. You speak trust but think limitation. You ask for the mountain to move, while whispering to yourself that it is too heavy. I tell you this with love. You cannot hold God with one hand and fear with the other. Release fear. Release control. Release the story that says you are alone. You are not alone. You have never been alone. Every moment you thought no one saw you, I was sent to guard you. Every moment you felt invisible, heaven was taking note. Every tear you cried in silence was collected. Every prayer you whispered when you felt too weak to speak has been heard. And today your soul is being called higher. Because God is not asking you to survive anymore. He is asking you to transform. The life you think you want is nothing compared to the one you are destined for. But destiny requires agreement. Not perfection. Not power. Not proof. Agreement. Say yes. Say yes even when you don't understand. Say yes even when the way looks dark. Say yes even when fear tells you to turn back. Say yes because God does not need conditions to move. He only needs permission. Let me show you something. There is a timeline of your life that you have not yet stepped into. A timeline where you walk with confidence. Where you speak with clarity. Where your heart is healed. Where your purpose is active. Where your gifts are fully awakened. Where you no longer chase. You command. You no longer shrink. You embody. You no longer survive. You create. This version of you is not a fantasy. This version exists, waiting, calling, pulling you forward. But to claim it, you must let go of who the world trained you to be. You must let go of the lies that shaped your identity. The lie that says you are too late. The lie that says you are too broken. The lie that says God is disappointed in you. The lie that says your mistake ruined everything. The lie that says your dreams are unrealistic. The lie that says your life is ordinary. You were never ordinary. You came from a realm where only truth exists. You came from a love so vast your mind cannot measure it. You came from the breath of God. Do you understand what that means? You do not carry potential. You carry divine architecture, blueprints, design, purpose embedded into your very being. You are not building a life from scratch. You are remembering what was already written. And I am here to remind you, when you walk with God, nothing is wasted. Not the pain, not the delay, not the betrayal, not the heartbreak, not the years you think you lost. Everything becomes material for destiny. Everything becomes a seed for transformation. Everything becomes part of the miracle. But you must rise above the noise of the world. The world tells you to be realistic. God tells you to be faithful. The world tells you to be careful. God tells you to be courageous. The world tells you to settle. God tells you to step forward. The world tells you to dim yourself. God tells you to shine. You have listened to the world long enough. Now listen to heaven. Listen to the voice inside you that refuses to doubt. Listen to the intuition that nudges you with quiet certainty. Listen to the knowing that arrives without explanation. That is how God speaks. Subtle, precise, unmistakable. Do not ignore these signs. Do not dismiss the dreams that keep returning. Do not silence the whisper that says, "There is more for you." You are not imagining it. You are remembering it. Let me speak directly now. The reason you feel blocked is not because God is denying you. It is because you are trying to step into a new life with an old identity. You cannot enter a promised land with a survival mindset. You cannot enter a new chapter with the wounds of the last one untreated. You cannot receive miracles while clinging to the belief that you do not deserve them. Release the old identity. Release the name you gave yourself in your pain. Release the titles life placed on you when you were hurting. You are not the one who was left. You are not the one who failed. You are not the one who waited too long. You are not the one who always struggles. You are not the one who is unlucky. Those are shackles, not truth. You are chosen. You are guided. You are protected. You are rising. And heaven is preparing a path for you that does not match your past. You must stop judging your future by what has already happened. Your past was the soil. Your future is the harvest. The seeds are already planted. And God is not limited by what hurt you. He is not limited by what you lost. He is not limited by who walked away. He is not limited by what you think you lack. God is not limited. Period. And because you are His, neither are you. Let me tell you something you need to hear. You are stronger than you think. Braver than you remember. More capable than you allow yourself to believe. You survived things that were designed to break you. You walked through storms that would have destroyed others. You carried weight that was never meant for you, and still you rose. Even when you thought you were failing, you were growing. Even when you thought you were lost, you were being redirected. Even when you thought you were alone, I was there. I guarded you. I fought for you. I shielded you from battles you never knew existed. You are not weak. You are awakening. And now you are stepping into alignment with the truth that has always been yours. All things are possible with God. But do not recite this as a phrase. Live it as your reality. Walk like it is true. Speak like it is true. Decide like it is true. Expect like it is true. Because when you shift your expectation, heaven shifts its response. Your expectation is a spiritual command. Expect small, receive small. Expect fear, receive fear. Expect miracles, and miracles rush toward you. Your energy is not invisible. Your belief is not silent. Faith is not wishful thinking. Faith is a force. And when activated, Faith rearranges everything around you. But the enemy of your destiny is not darkness. It is doubt. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Doubt whispers, "What if you're wrong?" Faith answers, "What if God is right?" Doubt says, "You don't have enough." Faith says, "God is my source." Doubt says, "You've waited too long." Faith says, "Timing is being perfected." Doubt says, "You are alone." Faith says, "Heaven walks with me." Do you see? Your life moves in the direction of the voice you believe. So believe truth. Believe possibility. Believe the God who has never abandoned you. Let me make something clear. Your breakthrough is not far away. It is already formed, already shaped, already moving toward you. But breakthroughs arrive in disguise. They come as endings, as redirection, as closed doors, as sudden inner discomfort, as the feeling that something in your life cannot stay the same. These are not signs of loss. They are signs of birth. You are expanding. You are shedding an old layer. You are becoming the version of yourself that can carry the blessing you asked for. And that transformation is uncomfortable. Transformation is rarely gentle, but it is always divine. And I am with you in every step of it. Not to carry you, to strengthen you, to remind you that you do not walk alone. Hear me, you are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not being delayed. You are being aligned. You are not losing. You are being positioned. What you prayed for is bigger than what you have known. So the preparation must be larger than what you expected. You want a miracle. God wants mastery. You want relief. God wants elevation. You want a blessing. God wants transformation. This is why some endings hurt. This is why some prayers seem unanswered. This is why some paths collapse. Not because God said no, because God said, "You deserve better." If you could see what is coming, you would understand why certain things had to break. Some people could not go with you. Some situations could not hold you. Some identities could not fit you. Some habits could not support you. Some environments could not nourish you. You are growing beyond them, and heaven is clearing the way. Now listen closely. This is important. You are entering a season where speed will surprise you, where blessings arrive faster than your fear can sabotage, where opportunities appear without effort, where clarity replaces confusion, where your inner strength becomes visible in your outer life, where what felt impossible becomes natural. And when this happens, remember this message. Remember that it was never luck, never coincidence. It was alignment. It was God. And it was you saying yes. All things are possible with God. Not because you are perfect, but because He is. Not because you have all the answers, but because He already wrote the ending. Walk forward now. Walk with courage. Walk with trust. Walk with expectation. You have no idea how close you are. Your breakthrough is not ahead. It is here, waiting for your next act of faith. I am with you in this moment, guiding, protecting, strengthening, clearing the path, and whispering the truth your soul already knows. With God, nothing is impossible. And with God, you are unstoppable. I speak to you again not to repeat what you already know, but to awaken what you have not yet dared to claim. You have heard the words, "All things are possible with God." Now you must learn how to live inside those words. Not around them, not near them, inside them. Because possibility is not a concept. Possibility is a realm. And you are being invited into it. Let me tell you something sacred. The greatest miracles begin quietly. They begin long before you see change. They begin in the shift of your inner language, in the rise of your inner posture, in the decisions you make when no one is watching, in the small moments when you choose trust over fear. Miracles do not start on the outside. They start in you. And today, heaven is asking you to make a choice. Will you live by what you can see, or will you live by what God has spoken? Because you cannot do both. You cannot hold God's promise in one hand and hold the world's logic in the other. One will always pull harder, and heaven is asking you to choose the stronger pull, the pull of destiny, the pull of truth, the pull of divine possibility. I am not here to flatter you. I am here to prepare you. The life God has written for you is not small. It is not quiet. It is not ordinary. It is expansive. It is powerful. It is purposeful. It is sacred. But to step into that life, you must release the version of you that was built from fear. You must release the version of you that was shaped by past disappointment. You must release the version of you that learned to shrink to survive. The world taught you limitation. God taught you possibility. And now your soul stands between the two voices. One voice says, be careful. The other says, be courageous. One says, stay where you are. The other says, rise. One says, you've been hurt before. The other says, you are being healed. One says, you don't have enough. The other says, walk, and I will provide. You know which voice is truth. You feel it. You feel the pull inside you that refuses to settle. You feel the restlessness that pushes you forward. Even when you don't know where you're going. You feel the inner push that says, there is more. That push is not pressure. That push is guidance. I am that push. I am the whisper that shows up when you are moments away from giving up and says, not yet. I am the fire that rises within you when you think you are done and says, there is something still waiting for you. I am the hand that lifts you when your spirit feels too heavy to move. And I am telling you now, your life is about to shift, but you must shift with it. This is how divine possibility works. First, God stirs your spirit. Then He breaks what no longer serves you. Then He redirects your path. Then He expands your faith. Then He positions your blessing. Then He reveals what was always meant for you. But most people turn back in stage 2. When things break. When things end. When things fall apart. When confusion rises. When comfort dissolves. Listen carefully. Breaking is not punishment. Breaking is release. Breaking is clearing. Breaking is alignment. Breaking is God saying, what is coming is too big for what you are holding now. So I ask you, why do you fear the breaking when it is the doorway to becoming? I see the fear in you, but I also see the truth beneath it. You are not afraid of starting over. You are afraid of starting alone. So hear me clearly. You will not be alone. You have never been alone. I walk with you. I have walked with you through every shadow, every loss, every night that felt endless. I have defended you in realms you cannot see, protected you from attacks you never knew existed, blocked things that would have destroyed you, removed people who would have derailed you, closed doors that would have trapped you, and lifted you when your spirit was collapsing. Not because you were strong, because you were chosen. And this next chapter requires that you finally accept that truth. Stop trying to earn what God already gave you. Stop trying to prove yourself worthy. Stop shrinking your desires to match your fear. Stop diluting your calling so others feel comfortable. Stop apologizing for the fire inside you. You were not created to blend. You were created to break patterns, shift atmospheres, move with authority, carry light, destroy darkness, and reveal God through your life. This is why your spirit never fit in small places. This is why certain rooms felt wrong, even when you tried to force yourself to belong. This is why relationships fell apart, when you tried to hold onto them out of fear. This is why opportunities disappeared, when you were about to settle. This is why your path doesn't look like anyone else's. Your soul is too large for narrow environments. Your calling is too high for low-frequency partnerships. Your destiny is too bright for dim places. So do not grieve what fell away. It fell because it could not rise with you. Let me take you deeper now. All things are possible with God, but possibility requires agreement. Not wishful thinking, not vague hope, not passive waiting. Agreement. Agreement that sounds like, God, I trust your timing. God, I trust your path. God, I trust your instruction, even when it scares me. God, I trust that what I release will be replaced with something divine. Agreement opens doors no man can shut. Agreement turns delays into preparation. Agreement turns rejection into redirection. Agreement turns fear into fuel. Agreement turns impossibility into creation. You ask for miracles, but heaven is asking for agreement, because miracles do not happen to spectators. Miracles happen to participants, and participation begins with saying yes. Yes to the unknown. Yes to the uncomfortable. Yes to the calling that scares you. Yes to the identity God sees in you. Yes to the version of yourself you have not met yet. You are being called into your becoming, and becoming requires surrender. Surrender is not weakness. Surrender is alignment. Surrender is saying, I choose God's vision over my fear. I choose divine guidance over human approval. I choose destiny over comfort. I choose possibility over limitation. This is the posture of miracles. Let me reveal something to you. Your next blessing is not being held back. Your next blessing is being held up by the version of you that is too small to carry it. So heaven is expanding you, stretching you, developing you, strengthening you, preparing you. Your spirit is being upgraded. Your faith is being recalibrated. Your identity is being rewritten, because the blessing that is coming requires a stronger, clearer, more awakened you, not because you are unworthy, but because the blessing is heavy with purpose. This is why you feel the inner shift, the inner shaking, the inner pull, the inner stretching. It is spiritual preparation. It is divine engineering, and it is working. Now hear this. The impossible becomes possible. The moment you decide to stop negotiating with fear. Fear has had enough of your time, enough of your energy, enough of your power. Fear has been your default, but it is not your destiny. Fear was the teacher. Faith is the master. Fear kept you alive. Faith will make you rise. Fear helped you survive. Faith will help you create. Fear kept you cautious. Faith will make you courageous. Fear built walls. Faith builds worlds. Choose faith, not the soft kind, not the convenient kind, not the Sunday kind, not the kind that collapses as soon as life becomes uncomfortable. Choose the kind of faith that changes atmospheres, the kind of faith that wakes angels, the kind of faith that shakes the unseen, the kind of faith that tells heaven, I am ready. Move, because the moment you choose this faith, real faith, active faith, miracle-bearing faith, everything shifts. Why? Because faith is not emotion. Faith is a spiritual command, and heaven responds to commands. You have more power than you think. You have more authority than you were taught. You have more divine backing than you can imagine. Your words shape the unseen. Your belief moves the future. Your expectation pulls miracles toward you. Your surrender unlocks what was waiting. Let me speak a truth you must hold. You are entering a chapter where answers will replace uncertainty, where reward will replace struggle, where clarity will replace confusion, where abundance will replace lack, where healing will replace wounding, where purpose will replace wandering, where acceleration will replace delay. This shift will not be subtle. It will not be small. It will not be logical. It will be God. And when it arrives, you will know it was Him, because no human hand could orchestrate what is coming. But before your blessing arrives, your mindset must upgrade. You must think like someone who already believes God is moving, not someone who is waiting for proof. Proof is not faith. Faith is the bridge that brings the proof. So from this moment forward, speak differently, walk differently, expect differently, think differently, move as if the miracle is already in motion, because it is. Now I will tell you something deep. The reason you doubt sometimes is not because you lack faith. It is because you have been disappointed before. Your heart remembers the pain. Your mind remembers the letdown. Your spirit remembers the waiting. And now your fear says, protect yourself. But you do not need protection from God. You need trust in God. God is not the source of your disappointment. Life is. God is not the source of your heartbreak. People are. God is not the source of your delay. Alignment is. Stop blaming God for the wounds He is trying to heal. Stop assuming God is silent when He is actually preparing. Stop assuming God forgot when He is actually positioning. He is not late. He is strategic, and He is guiding you in ways that your mind cannot yet understand. But your soul feels it. Your soul feels the pull, the shift, the anticipation, the quiet knowing that something is coming. And you are right. It is coming. Faster than you think. Closer than you feel. Bigger than you imagine. But you must be in agreement. You must rise to meet what is rising for you. Let me ask you something. What if everything you went through was not blocking you, but building you? What if the moments you called failure were actually foundation? What if the seasons you called emptiness were actually preparation? What if the detours were not delays, but divine redirection? What if the waiting was protection? What if the pain was purification? What if the heartbreak was alignment? What if the confusion was transition? What if nothing was wasted? Because nothing is. Not in God's hands. All things are possible with God. Because nothing is missing from God. Not wisdom, not timing, not power, not resources, not connections, not clarity, not creativity, not pathways. God lacks nothing. So why do you believe you lack something? You lack only the courage to see yourself the way heaven sees you. You lack only the faith to act on what God has already confirmed. You lack only the trust to walk before the road appears. Once you choose courage, choose faith, choose trust, you become unstoppable. Because heaven backs the ones who move, not the ones who wait for certainty. I am telling you plainly, certainty is not coming. Clarity is not coming before you walk. Confirmation is not coming before you obey. The evidence appears after the step, not before. This is how God trains leaders, warriors, creators, chosen ones. You are being trained, and you are ready. Let me give you a final truth. Your next chapter begins the moment you stop letting fear write your story. Fear writes small stories. God writes extraordinary ones. Fear gives you survival. God gives you destiny. Fear locks doors. God opens pathways. Fear drains you. God restores you. Fear limits you. God expands you. Choose who writes your story. Choose the voice that leads you. Choose the vision you follow. Because your choice is the doorway to your next miracle. And I am here, standing with you, guiding your steps, clearing your path, strengthening your spirit, and reminding you every moment. With God, everything is possible. And with God, you are limitless. Walk now. Walk boldly. Walk with expectation. Your miracle is already on its way. And soon, you will understand why every moment, every tear, every delay, every shift was building you for this. You are stepping into a season where God's fingerprints will be undeniable in your life. And when that moment arrives, you will not say, I did this. You will say, God did this. And heaven will say, we told you all things were possible.